Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and ask that again. I was just wondering, over the last 2 years or so, how much do you feel like everything that's been going on, in society has kind of prepared you guys for this kind of moment where you'd have to maybe step forward and, step into that head coaching role for a game or two? And how prepared did you guys feel for that?
Well, it's basketball. Things do happen. And, being here, I've been here with Coach Martin the whole time. So, and our whole staff have. So, we understand exactly what Coach wants us to do. We understand how things are supposed to go. The players understand that as well. And so I think we're as prepared as anybody would be for this type of situation.
Dave.
Hey, Corn, what are the logistics like with Coach not being there? Does he kind of set up practice agenda schedules and game plans, and you just take it from there and hear back from him? Or how does it all work?
My computer is freezing again. Let me try it on my phone. Okay. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Recording in
Okay.
progress.
Okay. Let me get off here. Can you hear me now?
I got you. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
What is the what are the logistics like when Konzo isn't there? Is he kind of coming up with practice agendas and the game plan and gives it to you guys and get feedback, or how does that all operation work?
Well, yes, it works that way. I mean, Coach, he obviously trusts us with the whole shot. It was my scout, so it's easy to move in terms of what we need to do scout wise. But he's been in touch with us the whole time. He's given us a little freedom in terms of course, we're here, but he's aware of everything that's going on. He's aware of the practice plan, and those things. So everything is in order.
Right.
My face not on here. Hold on.
Yeah, Corn, are you able to turn the video on your phone?
Sorry about that.
All good. Thank you. Mitchell, go ahead.
Hey, Corn, you mentioned this is your scout. Obviously, Kentucky, leads the nation in offensive rebounding rate and total rebounding rate. What do you have to do to try to break even on the glass?
Well, the only thing you can do is fight. Fight on the glass. I think our guys do a good job of blocking out. We got to have guys be physical and be the first to make the hit and have physical blockouts. This team is an elite rebounding team, and we just have to be elite blockouts. We have to have elite blockouts throughout the game, and if we do that, then you should see at least 2 or 3 over the back calls.
Lila.
Hey, I hope you're doing well. I guess could you just kind of, break down for us what kind of the timeline of this whole situation has been like for you from, when you found out from Konzo to now?
I mean, it really hadn't changed a lot. I found out, he texted late 2 nights ago, but I was sleeping when he sent it out. So I found out yesterday morning, and really the timeline hadn't been much different other than making sure that we, talk to Coach about the practice plan, make sure that we get together as assistants and put together and execute the practice plan, to make sure that our guys are physically healthy, and they are, mentally healthy, and they are. And so it's really been kind of normal. We get workouts in the morning, and we were able to get our workouts in with guys, and then we got through practice. So it's been pretty normal, and normal aside of the fact that the obvious that Coach Martin is not here, and that was one day. So it could get a little could be a little more different today, but yesterday was pretty much the same, other than the obvious.
So I guess just kind of, when were players tested once you guys found out? What does that kind of look like?
Well, everyone was tested at the same time. When we had practice on the 26th, and prior to practice, everyone in the program was tested. And so we got the results at some point the next night or that night. And that's when, that's when guys found out. That's when coach found out he was, positive for COVID. And that's it, really.
Gabe, go ahead.
Yeah, Corn, every team that has a break is going to say, hey, the break came at the perfect time. But just curious with your kids, obviously up and down the last few weeks and coming off the Illinois game, where do you feel like kind of the confidence level and the state of this team is going into SEC play?
I think I think the confidence level is at a decent position. Because I think our guys understand that we are getting better. I think they working their tail off to do so. And so even though, the schedule would have you play some really good teams right now so far, and obviously the rest of the year, some other really good teams. But, pretty tough schedule for a very young team. But they also are very aware that we are getting better. They can feel it, they can see it. And sometimes, the scoreboard may trick you into thinking you're not getting better, but we are getting better. Sometimes it's incremental, sometimes in some pretty big spots. And so I think they feel that. So I think that builds the confidence. I think the confidence is continuing to get better. And I think we're playing better. I think we will play better. Now it's going to be tough without coach, obviously, but I think the guys again understand that we are getting better as a team, and some guys individually is getting better.
Jerry.
Yes, Coach. I know you guys have played Kansas and Illinois, a very good schedule. How would you compare the challenge Kentucky presents with what you faced in those games?
It's similar. And the reason I say it's similar, because all of those teams have a really good 5-man. And both of those other teams shot the ball well. We have to do a better job in this game in terms of guarding the 3-point line. But we also have to do a good job of manning the 5-man position and right at the rim. And so sometimes that's kind of the deal. When you got a really good big guy, it brings so much attention down to the paint that somehow guys are able to get a little more freedom in terms of open shots, which, if you start in the game and you got guys hitting shots early, then that really causes an issue, because now you got balance. You're playing against balance. And sometimes that's tough. Think about last year with us, we had great balance. And so we're playing teams with great balance. Got teams that can shoot the ball, but more importantly, teams that have a 5-man that's this kid, Sheepway, is as good as any 5-man in the country. Probably better than most 5-mans, if not all 5-men in the country.
Thanks.
Dave.
Cornell, you guys have coached against Wheeler a ton over the last few years. Just is there anything different now that he's in Coach Calipari's system, or is he kind of the same guy doing the same things?
He's kind of the same guy. He's a little. So earlier in the year, watching film, I felt like he could make or break the team at times by trying to do too much, because he did a lot for Georgia. But I think right now he's hit a bit of a stride where he's accepted his role, and he's finding a balance in terms of what he can get for himself and how to facilitate a little bit more. And so the last 3 games he's been able to do that. And so he is he's a little bit better because he got some better guys with him.
Thanks.
Dick.
Good morning, Coach. In scouting Kentucky, I'm wondering what you saw compared when you looked at the Notre Dame loss and then the next couple of games by Kentucky. There's a lot of stuff pretty obvious to guys like us, but what did you see in terms of the improvement in Kentucky over that span?
Again, I think it's similar to what I was just saying about Wheeler. I think Wheeler was the one guy who could keep them from playing at the level that they are playing at now, because he would dominate the ball and try and do too much, but he's not doing that here the last few games. So I go back with balance again. I just think they've hit a rhythm in terms of their balance. And, you got Grady who shot the ball really well the last two games. He shot it all year well, but he shot it the last two games exceptionally well. And then you take in consideration, last game for Sheepway, 28 rebounds. So when you talk about roles, the role of Grady and being able to get open shots and large because of Sheepway's productivity inside, and then his productivity, the Grady's threes, and then Wheeler's role, and you're not even talking about Washington yet, who is a really good catalyst for everything they do. They got it going right now in terms of everyone accepting roles and really doing their job to a T.
Anthony.
Hey, Corn, yesterday on the radio, you mentioned that you kind of wanted to see a little bit more out of your point guards. I was wondering if there's anything in particular you're telling them and anything in particular you're kind of looking for out of them.
Well, just to continue getting better. We obviously want to push the ball, but as after pushing the ball, let's get into whatever it is we're into. I just think more importantly than offensive, I think defensively we need more from them. Offensively, obviously, we last game we got a bunch of open shots. We got to knock those down. But defensively, we got to do a great job of keeping the ball from flying down the court at a high speed, and we do that by defending. And I think I think the challenge is real to the guys, and I think they understand the challenge. And especially since we've been back, I know it's only been 2 days, but they've been working their tail off to compete and get that thing figured out.
Gabe.
I think we all kind of came into this season saying, oh, good, now we get maybe a normal college basketball season. And obviously you guys are still playing, a ton of people aren't. But I'm curious, being in this every day now for a second straight season, has it just become what you do, or is there still a level of stress to, hey, we've got a test and we don't know who we're going to have every day and everything can change?
I think it's fair to say that it's, anytime in sports, you don't have, you can be surprised at any moment, any day. I think that can happen in general in sports, but you're almost looking for it now. You're almost looking for the next bad thing to happen, or the next bad, the next who's not going to play, or are we going to play this game? It does become a bit more of a juggling act on a daily basis. Obviously, tougher for every team, but tougher for teams who that you don't have your leader with you. That becomes really tough, and so I think of course I do think it's a level of stress to it. I think there's a level of stress every day to it, but just like we always talk about how sports, in this case basketball, mirrors society. I think it's hard for everyone that's going through it. So it's no different for us in terms of basketball.
Isla?
I know you mentioned that, you had the scout for Kentucky and, obviously, you're taking over kind of head coaching duties on the sideline, but what else kind of changes for you behind the scenes on game day, taking over that role that, we might necessarily not usually see or realize?
I really don't know that yet because, we didn't play a game yet. But for me, I just want to do the best job I can for the program. I want to, obviously I'm an assistant coach, just like Marco Harris Stevens and Coach Hollander. And so we'll team up and attack this thing best we can without coach. No different than any coaching situation. You need help, and so I need those guys to help me, and I'm 100% confident that they're going to be in the trenches and fighting just like they would just like I would if Coach Martin was here. So at the end of the day, we got a job to do as assistant coaches, and we'll get together like we did yesterday and like we will today, and we'll attack and execute it as we should.
Jerry?
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned that for the coaches, it's almost like, and players, I guess, you're almost looking for the next bad thing to happen. I'm wondering how that might manifest itself in the play. You know what I mean? How might that affect players?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but just like as assistants, we got a job to do. Players got a job to do as well, and I hope it don't affect them. I hope they come out and rally and feel like, hey, this is one day we want to make sure we come out and be laser focused even more. One, because it's our next game. Two, because is obviously our first conference game. But three, because your leader is out sick, you want to play and do well for him as well.
Thanks.
Do we have any other questions?